So now we have X4 directive. The X4 directive allow us to loop through arrays or object and render elements dynamically. This is extremely useful when displaying lists such as products, menu items, comments, users, or any dynamic data. The syntax of using X4 is pretty simple. Here what we can do is we can write like this: X4 item in items, where items is an array. So let's take an example here. So here in this X data, let's create an array. Let's add fruits here. These are the elements in my array. So apple, banana, and orange. So how we can add loop here? So let's create a UL tag here, and here we can write X4 and we can write fruit in fruits, and here we can create li tag, and here we can add X text and pass fruit here. Now if we save this and run this, we will find an error. Let's open the console and you will find that we have some issue here. So how we can resolve this error? The solution is X4 must be wrap inside template. So let's fix this. Let me cut that from here and let's create a template here like this, and in this template we can add our loop here. So let me copy the code here. Now this will work. Let me save this and you will find that we have a list here. Now why we need to use template here? The reason is that the template acts as a blueprint for Alpine. Alpine clones the content inside the template for each item in the loop. Now here, what is happening here in this loop? So fruits is an array and X4 loops through an array, and then each item is stored in the variable fruit, and Alpine creates this li tag and with the every fruit name. Sometimes you also need index of the loop. So how we can do that? So let me update this code and use div. Instead of li, I'm going to add p tag, and in the p tag I'm going to add two span tag, one for the element which is, let's say, fruit, and the second for the index. Now we need to make some changes in the loop. So what we can do here is we can wrap this in this bracket, and with the fruit we can add index variable also. So this is how we will access the index. Let me add index here. Now if we save this, you will see we have index here. So we all know that the index of an array starts with the 0. We can also loop through the objects in using X4 directive. Let's create a div, and here let me create a user object. So like this. So we have X data user, we have name, and name John, age 30, and city London. So here we can use key value pair. So the loop would be something like this. So in the template we are going to loop, and here we have value and key in user. This is pretty much similar to something like this that we have done previously. Fruit name with the index. Now we have the value with key, and this is all you know. It's pretty simple. We are printing key and value. Now if we save this, you will find we have the object here. While rendering list, Alpine recommends using a key. So key helps Alpine track element efficiently when list changes. So let's take an example here. So let's create a div. I'm going to use X data directive, and here I'm going to add an object, let's say product. This product state contains different elements. Let me add that here. So this would be something like this. So we have ID, name, and price. Now when we loop through this would be an ID. So let's loop through this. Let me create template here, and here we can use X for directives, and let's add product in products, and here we can use key, and the key would be, let's say, product dot ID. Here we can display the rest of the information like this. We have product name and product price. So we have a typo here, so let's fix this. So instead of this, we need to have products object. So we still have some issue, and the issue is when we are having state, we need to wrap the states in this curly braces. So this is the issue. Let me save this. Now you can see we have our product list here. The laptop with the price of $1,000 and this one. We can also display the key here, something like this. You can see we have the key here. So now why we use this key? So in Alpine.js, the key attribute is used when the X4 directive is uniquely identify each element in a loop. It helps Alpine keep track of element when the list changes. When Alpine renders a list using X4, it creates DOM element for each item. If the later changes, for example, the items are added, removed, or reordered, Alpine needs to know which element belongs to which item and which item should be updated, which element should be removed or added. This is where key helps.